This video will explain what scholarly and popular sources are and how to recognize them. Scholarly sources are where researchers and scholars publish their original research for other researchers and scholars. As college students, this includes you. They can be about any topic. Plenty of scholarly articles are written about politics and pop culture. Scholarly books and articles in scholarly journals are all scholarly sources. For most assignments, students most commonly use scholarly articles. Scholarly sources may be peer-reviewed, meaning other experts in the subject area reviewed the methodology and conclusions before the source was published. Here's an example of a scholarly source. Because it was written by experts for other experts, it uses very technical language. It also clearly lists the scholarly credentials of the authors. The images here convey information, and the whole article is very structured. You can see the abstract, labeled as an abstract, and a formal list of sources. Popular, in the context of source types, just means non-scholarly. Popular sources were written for a general audience, not just researchers in a specific field. For most assignments, students most commonly use websites and newspaper and magazine articles. Here is an example of a popular source. The author's scholarly credentials aren't listed. It was written in non-technical language for a general audience. There's an illustration just to add visual interest. And even though the author tells you where they're getting their information from, they don't provide a structured list of references like the scholarly article did. Sometimes an assignment will require you to read and cite a certain number of popular or scholarly sources. Otherwise, whether you want to read a scholarly or popular source depends on where you are in the research process and what information you're looking for. Especially if you're new to a topic, popular sources can be easier to understand and provide more general information about a broader subject area. Scholarly sources generally provide very in-depth information about very narrow topics. Because scholarly articles take so long to write and publish, only popular sources can tell you about events that happened in the last year. The structure and publication process of scholarly articles makes them very transparent about how exactly the authors got their information or how they did their research. However, popular sources can also include the voices and narratives of people who are excluded from scholarly publishing. If you run into any issues finding or identifying scholarly and popular sources, please contact the library.